Welcome back to our top 10 Injustices series, where we break down what we feel are things that should be across many different categories. Today's category is removed game features, where we list the game features that Game Freak has removed from Pokemon games that we would like to see them re-implement or be consistent across all regions.
Now, we know that a lot of features are exclusive to certain games, and we can respect each region having something unique about them that others shouldn't. This list for the most part includes features that we feel shouldn't just be region exclusive. Let's begin. At number 10, we have the Berry Mixer, a personal favorite of mine. I'm actually not saying this is something that should be in every game. I understand why it's only a thing in the Horn region with their emphasis on contests and Pokeblocks, but that only made it more of an injustice for me when they didn't bring it back for Ors. It's not an overly complicated feature, and with the revamped contest, they could have definitely found a way to make it as helpful now as it was back then. I don't even partake in contests really, but I would always enjoy taking a break from the standard playthrough and playing me some Berry Mixer.
I remind me of something that isn't really an in-game feature, it's actually something that came included with every remake Pokemon game released, a piece of hardware to celebrate the remake of a classic game we all loved. Something from them to show that our continuous love and support of the games were appreciated and that we'd be rewarded for it. For Fire and Leaf Green, we received a wireless adapter, a device that would allow us to battle wirelessly for the first time. They didn't need to include this free of charge. We would have purchased the game anyways. It was their way of making the remake an event, something that needed a little extra to show how important it really is. For Heart Gold and Soul Silver, we received a Pokewalker, a device where we could actually transfer one of our Pokemon from our game and they would actually gain experience just from walking with it. You could even actually encounter a rare Pokemon from it, and not something they had to add, but the fact that they felt it was needed, it meant a lot because it shows mutual appreciation. And thinking about it, it was actually really clever of them to include something that allowed you to walk with any Pokemon in the first game that would allow you to walk with any Pokemon. For Mega Man Alpha Sapphire, we received potions. And only if we purchased both games, and only in a bundle that was exclusive to Amazon and Best Buy. You wouldn't even save any money from buying the bundle, it would cost $80 either way. Each game in the bundle came with a code for 100 potions. For a remake we were pretty excited about, it seems that they were not excited enough to provide anything meaningful with it. Nothing to really show how important this game was for them. Nothing to show how much they appreciated how important it was for us. The only reason this isn't higher on the list is because it's not necessarily an in-game feature, but it's still something that they used to do and stopped providing.
Call me greedy, but I always loved the idea to travel to another region. I think that's what made Gold and Silver my favorite games. Crystal too, of course. It fit the game so seamlessly, especially since at the end of a normal run through, unless you were grinding for a long time unnecessarily or doing a solo run with one Pokemon, you wouldn't really have the need for many of your Pokemon to be above level 60. Meaning there was still a little bit under half of your Pokemon's max potential to go. Sure, you could keep fighting the Elite Four until you get there, but what would be the point since they were the ones you were training for the whole time? Not to mention that it's not even necessary anymore to level up that far competitively. As long as your Pokemon have their EVs, the game will adjust accordingly and put them all at level 50. With little incentive otherwise to actually raise them up to level 100, the extra region made it feel like less of a grind, while providing us with more to explore, see, catch, and experience. It actually made it feel like we were in the Pokemon world, something we've all dreamed about.
At number 7, we have a classic feature, the one potion in your room's PC that you get before leaving your house. I'm surprised this one is actually even on the list. I'm surprised that they even removed it from the games. It wasn't hard to implement, it's been around since the first games, it's actually useful if for whatever reason your rival gets critical hit in the first battle, or a wild Pokemon that you've never seen before catches you off guard. Why was it removed? I understand that item storage in general is not needed anymore because our bags can pretty much hold anything imaginable, plus a couple of bikes, because why not? But our precious potion had to suffer because of this? Could they have not just made it an item in your room to pick up, or have your mom give it to you before you leave? Who's complaining about getting this potion at the start of the game? What happened?
At number 6, we have secret bases. Now I understand that secret bases are mainly a thing in Hoenn and to some extent Sinnoh, but that just makes it more confusing that the move Secret Power is still available in every other game. What's the point of having that then? Maybe we would have been better off with a Hoenn exclusive item that allowed you to create them. It would feel a lot less like an Injustice at that point. The move is pretty much irrelevant in every other game. What they could do is have region exclusive decorations to make it feel different for every game. If you're going to have the move in every game, the move's biggest purpose should not just disappear. In a Pokemon world, what's stopping other people from using the move to create these bases? Does Hoenn have like special trees, special bushes, Special holes on the side of mountains? Like what? There are other moves that lost their purpose outside of battle like defog that we could have mentioned on the list because I guess fog only occurs in Sinnoh, right? But it's a little less of an injustice for that because there could be the argument that the Sinnoh region is the only one that suffers from extreme fog due to whatever bullshit climate related anomaly they could come up with. That doesn't mean that there aren't other moves we can make a case for on the list.
At number 5 we have Seasons. This feature was introduced in Unova and was never brought back in any other game. It should be pretty self-explanatory that Unova shouldn't be the only region that experiences seasons. The other regions would all have to be directly located on the equator for them not to have that, but it's obviously not possible since snow areas are aplenty. It wouldn't be that hard to implement as most games already have some sort of climate overlay in certain cities. It was an awesome feature that gave plenty of different feels for the same city and we would like to see implemented across all of the games in the future. Can you imagine Lumios in winter? It'd be beautiful.
At number 4 we have the Underground. Introduced in Sinnoh, this was an awesome feature that let you dig underground for various items such as spheres, plates, fossils, competitive items, and even evolution stones. It was a great way to go looking for items that would otherwise only have a specified amount per game. It didn't always guarantee the specific item you wanted, just that you'd have a chance to get it, which is something we're all pretty familiar with in real life. We are all used to having to work for what we want in life for the most part, and this feature was something that was very relatable to that. It doesn't make sense that it can only be available in one region. The other regions not have an underground? Can people in other regions not buy shovels? It just seems weird to have something that every land should have as an exclusive to one region.
At number 3 we have the diving feature, only available in the Hoenn region and Unova region. For the same reason it's silly for there not to be an underground or season in other games, you can't make the case that underwater only exists in Hoenn and Unova. Most regions do have large bodies of water that you have to travel through, but I guess if it's not Hoenn or Unova, there's nothing underneath the water. Did our water Pokemon just suddenly lose the ability to dive in it? Did the people lose the free will to attempt it? It's weird to keep it restricted to 2 regions. Seeing it back on Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire only made us want this to be consistent across all regions even more.
When we first saw our number 2 feature, trainer customization revealed for X and Y, we were all so excited. Finally, we didn't have to settle for whatever the trainers looked like by default. It was easier to pretend when the trainers were just 20 black pixels in the first games that they were supposed to be a representation of you. That the reason they didn't talk was because they didn't want to give the trainer a voice to say something you would never say or phrase the sentence in a way you would never phrase it. As the visuals improved, it became harder and harder to put ourselves in the trainer's shoes. The hats got wider, the hair got longer. We desperately needed a way to make it feel more like we are the trainers in the story, and we finally got that. X and Y provided us with 3 different options for a default trainer, the ability to change their hairstyle to many different styles, and the options to mix and match hats, shirts, vests, jackets, pants, shorts, socks, shoes, and even the little things like hat accessories. It was definitely a feature that we took very seriously. Everyone enjoyed being able to change their look every week. When they didn't announce the return of the feature for Auras, that was pretty sad. Most of us figured they would, especially when we saw the alternate contest outfits. It took them a while to confirm that it in fact had not returned as a feature. While it's understandable that it being a remake provides a reasonable excuse as to why they wanted to keep the main characters look the same, I still think it was just a convenient excuse to save on development cost. We could have always made the decision to keep the trainer's appearance the same if it was really that important to us for the story. Hopefully Game Freak hears us out and returns trainer customization for every game here on out, not just the Kalos region. Being able to change clothes is not something that should only be restricted to one region for so many reasons.
In the first spot we have Pokemon walking alongside you. Technically this feature was first implemented in Pokemon Yellow, but the only Pokemon capable of following you was Pikachu. Regardless though, it's no secret that not all Pokemon enjoy being cooped up in their balls. They like exploring the region alongside their trainers. Game Freak gave us this feature of all Pokemon following alongside you in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And if I'm being honest, it's one of the main reasons I enjoyed those games. It made me feel closer to my Pokemon and made me want to catch any Pokemon I could just to see how it would look while following me. I can admit that it will be a lot of work for Game Freak to add this to the newer Pokemon games with the 3D engine, considering we're no longer restricted to 4-directional walking and there will be a lot of angles for every single Pokemon, 721 of them to be exact, including all the different forms of the Pokemon like Shinies or Mega Evolution. It's not like it's impossible for them to make 3D overworld sprites for every single Pokemon, because we've already seen them make a 3D overworld sprite for Pokemon such as Skiddo and X and Y. You can even ride one of those things. Just imagine if you have a Skiddo following you, you can just turn around and talk to it and get on its back. You could most likely do things like with that, like with Ponyta or Rapidash. Just Imagine how much they could add to the games to make them a lot more enjoyable. It would just add so much detail to the game. I think it would be worth the extra amount of effort they would have to put in. Once again, Pedro and I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you did enjoy, be sure to go ahead and show support by dropping a like. And if you have your own list you'd like to share with us, go ahead and put that in the comments below, because we do like reading what you guys have to say. And if you're not already, be sure to go ahead and subscribe to Pedro. His channel will be linked on screen. And if you're not subscribed to mine already, be sure to go ahead and do that, because these Injustices videos are posted here every second Sunday. We do plan on hopefully getting these posted more frequently, maybe even once a week on Pedro's channel and then once a week on my channel. We're not entirely sure yet. We're gonna try our best. If you guys would like that though, you should let me know what you think. And if there's enough support for it, we will try our best to make weekly episodes of this happen, because we have a lot of topics to discuss. Regardless though, thank you for watching again. We're out of here. Bye bye.